Hi and welcome back to the channel. Now, I haven't forgotten about the promise I made in terms of the vote about antiques or action figures, and these are the boxes all the way down here. The vote was slightly in favour of action figures, and I will get round to producing that film in a week or so. So don't worry, those of you who have contacted me about that, it will happen, I promise. Anyway, today's film is featuring a small 9-item haul from Stratford Upon Avon car boot, which is held at the Stratford racecourse every Saturday. And it's throughout the winter, it's on hard standing, which is absolutely fantastic. Today was incredibly, I wouldn't say cold exactly, but very windy. So the wind chill factor was right up there. And the sellers were sort of leaving really by about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So you had to be there early, as always, to pick up any of the best items that they have available. So I managed to do that, drag myself out of bed, get over there, and this now is the haul that I picked up. I will leave one item till the end because it could be something or it could be nothing. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm going to ask for your help actually, in case any of you have more knowledge about this particular subject than I do. So that will be the final item, and it could be special or it could be ordinary. I don't know yet. So first up, we have a very heavy copper, would have been a serving tray or dish. Now, I think, looking at the construction of it, the rivets, the general patina, this is old. You can fake it, but this doesn't look faked to me. That verdigris, which is a chemical reaction of the metal, the surface of the metal in the air. There's also some damage to it. It would have had two handles. So I do have a choice. Do I remove this handle to balance it up, or do I leave it as it is? Now, I think you probably know, those subscribers know me by now. I will leave that as a purely decorative item, and it could be used to display as a planter for succulents, so on and so forth. But I'm going to leave it exactly as it is, because I think it's fantastically decorative and will sit really well in a bar, or even hanging from the wall, or a restaurant, or even in that country cottage Georgian look. So that's the first item. Value wise, well, I picked it up for a couple of pounds, that's all. Value wise, I would expect this weight of copper alone, scrap value, plus the decorative elements of it, you know, this could easily go for 25 to 30 pounds. Next up is a small deity hand sculpted stone head. I will try and cut some photographs in. I don't know if this is oh yeah, there you go. I think that focuses. So it's Indian, pretty certain. Could be Vishnu, but it's that Buddha style stone hand carving. It's a little bit distressed, but still very nice piece. Got some weight to it. And picked it up for a £5. And even with the slight chip on the end of the nose there, which you can hardly see, to be honest, but I'll probably be looking 15 to 20 pounds quite comfortably for that. I think that's really nice, decorative, small, easily shippable, if there's such a word. So I was really pleased with that. Moving on, good old faithful. We have it's a modern reproduction, and it's a solid brass chamber stick, the Wee Willie Winky style. Now, sometimes you can get them with the candle snuffer as well, but on this occasion, it's just as is, what you see is what you get. So, no maker's mark. It's got the old slotted screw on the bottom, but that doesn't mean anything really. These are generally reproduced in India and places like that. Picked it up for a couple of pounds, and this will retail for in the region of £15. So good profit in that. If you see them, pick them up. They sell really well. People love these. Next up, On the same theme as the carved stone Buddha, we have a hand-carved wooden happy or smiling Buddha. It's very nicely made. The detail's great. You always look for the detail when you buy these. I don't know if you can pick that up, but there's a lot of detail in the, I assume that's some kind of leaf that he's holding. And there's also a lot of detail, very nice detail in his face. So that's a nice item. Again, picked it up for £5. This will retail in the region of 25 to 30 pounds, or as near to that as I can get. So very happy with that. Again, easy to box up and ship, which is becoming more and more important for me because I no longer buy and sell ceramics or glass just because of the risk of damage during shipping and the insurance implications. Not interested in it. So I'm tending to stick to wood, it's all metal, stone, natural substances like that. Okay, next up, quickly moving on. I'm going to try and keep this film to 10 minutes if I can. A pair of onyx or possibly agate, which is part of the same family, bookends, and obviously horse heads in the neoclassical style. 20th century, not that old, maybe mid-century. Got a bit of wear to them. You look on the bottom, a lot of striations on the bottom. It's not a uniform filed pattern, so you know they've done the rounds. No damages, no chips or cracks. Pick them up for a couple of pounds again, and these will sell in the region of £25. I like them. They're nice, decorative and useful. Next up we have a small copper top brass base vase, hand hammered. Picked it up for £1. A slight dent there, which I will tap out. I don't know if you can see that, but I can just bash that out quite easily. Picked it up for £1. This will sell for probably around £15. Nice, decorative. I was asked, do I polish brass, copper? No, I don't. I'll leave that to the buyer. Next up, again, some good old faithfuls. Conscious of the time, so I'll show these together. A pair of brass planters. That's got a little bit of age to it. It's been polished up. That's modern. Not a reproduction as such, but it's just a modernish, probably late 20th century planter. Some nice decorative rope work on it. It's all metal. Brass, as you can see. Nice and clean inside, so not that much use. As I say, late 20th century. This one, slightly older. I think this is probably Indian or Middle Eastern. Value-wise, that'll probably go for 25 to 30. That'll probably go for 20 to 25. Now, some time ago, I purchased this. Wasn't from Stratford. This was from Malvern Antiques Fair. I featured it in another film. I said I'd look into it. This is actually by a Canadian artist, I've found out, called Emile Bluteau. And he was based in Quebec, and he was one of their most famous and prolific primitive artists. He was born in 1931, and his stock in trade was human characters, really. He moved into that. So here we have a couple of locals paddling down a river somewhere in Canada. Probably picked it up for £5, and it will sell 30 to 40 pounds quite comfortably. And it's signed on the bottom. There we go. It's signed on the bottom. I think I've got the right way around. Yeah, Emile Bluteau. So quite pleased with that. And that was found in a field in Worcestershire. Can you believe it? So nice little buy. Now, this is the item I wanted to show you. It is, I'll show you the back first. Picture frame. The glass is broken, and it has a small photograph of, those of you of a squeamish nature, turn off now. To be honest, it's a dead lady, and her name is Elizabeth Stride. Now, this is a morgue photograph, and what's special about Elizabeth Stride? Well, Elizabeth Stride was the third victim of Jack the Ripper in 1888 in London, England. She was known as Long Liz and worked on the streets, to be honest. She was a Scandinavian immigrant and she was 44 years old when she died. Now, what's interesting about this, the provenance, I believe it came from a museum, is the photograph. And again, I'll try and cut in some close-ups, but there is a little mark there that you can see. Now, I don't know if that's an official stamp from the museum or what. And then down below there is just a little bit of, looks like a newspaper cutting, just to identify who she is. But it's definitely Elizabeth Stride, and it's definitely a photograph taken when she lay on the slab in the morgue. Now, Jack the Ripper, obviously incredibly collectible, but that might be a keeper. I paid £20 for it. I haven't got a clue what it's worth. If any of you know anything about Jack the Ripper, you want to put in the comments below. If any of you have seen anything similar, please let me know. I'd be fascinated to hear, any information about it. But I love this. It's one of my favourite finds for a long time. And could be something, might be nothing. I really don't know, but I just couldn't leave it where it was. So there you go. That's a small morgue photograph. It's actually, it's not the original, it'll be, but I'm wondering if it's period, copies from around the time, early 20th century, late 19th century. I haven't taken it out, even though the glass is broken, to look at the back, just see if there's any other information. That's something I'll do and maybe update you on. So there you go, one of my favourite finds for a while. Could be worth some money, might not be worth anything. Don't know. It's all part of the fun as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. That's a small 9 or 10 item haul. Acquired the majority of it at Stratford Upon Avon car boot, and the one item from the Malvern flea market. I hope you enjoyed this film. If you did and you'd like to support our little channel, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Get in touch. Message me. I'll always do my best to get back and answer any questions you leave on the board down below. And it'd be great to hear from you. So as ever, take care and stay safe.